SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew is proud to announce we are now officially powered by TEC. If their fiber optic internet service can handle everything we throw at it here in the studio, from videos to calls and live streams, you better believe they can handle your home or business too. If speed, stability, and service is important to you, you can count on TEC. Thanks, TEC. Now let's get to the show. In a world that moves way too fast, there's one place that feels like home. Tater's Place in Paris, Tennessee, where the sizzle of a smash burger meets the sound of laughter and every plate tells a story. Bring the family, make memories, and taste the love in every bite. Live music, real people, and unforgettable food. That's Tater's Place, 3615 Highway 79 North. Find the flavor you've been missing at Tater's Place. Come and feel what you've been hungry for.
Are you looking for a fence that gives you peace of mind? At All Star Fence Company, we don't just build fences, we build confidence. Whether it's keeping your family safe, protecting your property, or simply adding curb appeal, All Star delivers unmatched quality, dependable service, and lasting results. Locally owned and trusted across West Tennessee, Kentucky, and beyond, we're the name homeowners count on for reliability and strength since 1971. All Star Fence Company, your first line of defense and your best choice for peace of mind. Visit allstarfenceandsupply.com today.
Yeah, well, all right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to SportsCast with Jeremy Buckelew. Happy Sunday to you. Glad you could join us. Got a great show tonight. My hat's crooked. That's going to drive me crazy. Oh, well, whatever. Glad to have you with us for a fun show. Tonight, going to talk a little bit of racing. And so glad you could join us. Want to say thank you to our sponsors who bring you SportsCast each and every week. Thanks to Taters out on the Lake Highway. If you're out that direction and get hungry, pull into Taters and grab you a smash burger, some pickles. They got some of the best fries in town as well. You can also get your bike worked on while you're there. And so drop it off, grab something to eat, and then get back on the road. But thanks to Taters. Also want to say thank you to All Star Fence and Jeff Archie and his crew for their sponsorship. Anything fence related, they can take care of you. And so give Jeff and them a call out there at All Star Fence. Also thanks to Patriot Plumbing, Shelter Insurance, Eaton Construction, and Tennessee Real Estate. Said I got a great show tonight, and I mean it. Got some dirt track racers, some asphalt racers, and got an even old straight line drag racer. And I won't say what I thought drag racing was, but my co-host here can tell us all about it.
I don't know why you hold it back now. A while ago, you was telling me what you thought drag racing was.
Mike Weatherford, the old Heiko hustler, is here as the special co-host, racing edition of SportsCast. Mike, glad to have you with us
I'm glad
tonight
to be
as the
here.
co-host.
As a co-host.
You're not
Thanks for
used to
having me.
sitting in that seat.
No, it's pretty cool over here, though. I ain't got to worry about the screw-ups around you tonight.
Well, that's all right. Well,
Hold on a minute. Your head's crooked, not your
I'm
hat.
plenty good at managing the screw-ups, and so it just comes with the territory, I guess,
does.
right?
It does.
Glad to have you with us. But do have some great guests on tonight. We got the one and only District Attorney General Neil Thompson on the show tonight. Neil, welcome. Glad to have you.
Well, glad to be here. This is my first time on this show. I've been in this room a whole lot.
Yeah.
First time on this show, though.
Glad to have you. Going to talk about your second career, maybe your first career at this point. I don't know.
We'll balance it out.
It's all 50-50 at this
That's
point.
right.
Glad to have you with us, Neil. And then, of course, Marty Allison with us tonight. Marty, glad to have you in from the track and in the studio with us here at the Brewer Street Mafia Studios. I didn't even mention that we're live, as always, every Sunday night from the Brewer Street Mafia Studios. And so, Marty, glad to have you with us and looking forward to hearing your tales. And then got the one and only Ralph Wiles with us from out on the lake, not the lake, headed to Henry, the Highway 79, the other side.
The good side.
Easy now. Easy now. We're on the good side.
I was going to say we've got that telephone number that Neil would answer all of your legal questions. Ralph can answer your county commissioner questions. Marty has some experience with the road board, and so he can answer that. And me and Mike would just come along for the ride. But
Just ride,
we're going to talk about racing. So
I ask you a question right off the
yeah,
bat.
go for it.
Do you know that Marty is Joey's body? What do you call it? Body double.
Is that right?
We both had Joey Nash in here.
Yeah, Joey Nash is going to be on the show tonight, but couldn't make it. And
Stunt
so
double.
It's just stunt double over is what it is.
Marty's sitting in.
Yeah, Marty said when they're racing and when it gets time to, the Joey does all the waving and kissing the babies, but when they shut the door, that's who's sitting in the car.
Gotcha. Well, that's it does the dangerous. Right? Joey just gets all the glory from it, right? But you're the one out there.
Yeah, Joey hadn't been in a race car in 40 years.
He hides
30 years anyway.
He hides in the trailer until it's wedding circle time. Then he can pop it up there, sweat all over him.
It's been as long as I have since I've been in one. Yeah.
Joey's going to wish he showed up now.
Yeah.
No defense.
Joey don't wish he showed up, I promise you.
One of those things. If he's not here, you're free to say whatever you want to say about it, right? So
I see it. Don't you?
That's exactly where
Hell,
I
I'd say it if he's here.
yeah. Guys, every week we start the show the same way. Is best thing that you've seen this week, and so it's been a long week. Saw a lot of good stuff this week. Just got back from a quick trip down to Jackson, Mississippi, to see Cade and his girlfriend that are living down there now. She's about to start medical school. He's in law school down there, so it was good to see them. Sports-wise, best thing, the Emmons Bulldogs won Tuesday night, 38-0 over Jackson Northeast. The Grove Patriots won 38-0 on Thursday night.
Wow.
Over the Dyer County Choctaws. It's always good to get a win against Dyer County. I've made some notes this week of just everything that went on Henry County-wise because it was a really, really good sports week. For the most part,
the Henry County High School girls soccer team beat Madison 4-0 on Thursday.
That was Thursday night. On Tuesday, the Lady Patriot golf team won over Westview. The Henry County Middle School soccer team won over Huntington. Cross country had 3 runners finish in the top 20. The Henry County Middle School beat Gleason on Tuesday night. As you said, Lady Patriot soccer won 9-0 at Kenwood on Tuesday night. And then Thursday night was Groves games. Emmons soccer won 9-0 over Obion County on Thursday night. As you said, Neil, Henry County won 4-0 over Madison. And Emmons volleyball, their varsity and junior varsity, won over Murray, Kentucky. And so not a bad week of sports for Henry County. With all of that going on, one of the best things I saw on Facebook, I think last night, was the fact that Coach Summers got together, and there were some ladies at the high school. I think Jamie Atkinson and Barbara McWhorter were some of those ladies, but they got a pep bus together and drove the 2 hours and 45 minutes down to Pulaski with a bus load of kids from the high school who wanted to go to the football game, so they didn't have to make that drive and get back at 1 o'clock in the morning like we did. The football game, I wish would have turned out a little bit better. But I think the best thing I'm going to see this week is that pep bus and what they're doing out there at Henry County, allowing those kids to make that trip who normally wouldn't get to go. Hats off to the people who made that happen. Your turn, Mike. What's the best thing you've seen this week?
Well, the best thing I seen this week was when Cracker Barrel put their logo back. I mean, I'm just saying.
That's right.
It's amazing what a little bit of public outrage will do.
I mean,
That's
what do
right.
y'all think?
I'm with you,
There
brother.
you go. That's the best thing happened all week.
Neil, how about you?
Well, I spent part of my week in Franklin at the DTF directors meeting and just seeing everybody across the state come together to try to keep the drugs that are coming in from Mexico and get that off, interdiction on the interstate, things like that. It was really great seeing everybody come together and everybody working for that.
Awesome. Marty, best thing you saw this week?
The best thing I saw this week was a personal event that my mother's been in Vanderbilt for 2 months, and she came home yesterday.
That's
Wow, that's
That's
the best
good.
thing.
best thing at the table for far.
Sports
Good to hear.
related.
Yeah.
I saw a good fight last night at the racetrack.
I used to go to a fight and hope a race would break out.
That's what happened here.
You went to a fight and a race broke out, huh?
Well, there was a fella about my age, and I won't say how old that is, but
Damn, he's old.
a little over 50.
Yeah.
Maybe 60. But he showed up to the fight with his fist, and the other fella was about half his age, and he was fighting with a helmet.
Oh. Who won?
The helmet.
Never take your helmet off.
The issue was he threw the fist first,
Right.
but the helmet was the last thing to come around.
Yeah, was the helmet still on when the fist flew?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, he was smart
Well,
enough to
I
wait
was
to
gonna
take the
say,
helmet off.
I never understood that because you see it sometimes in like NASCAR that they'll reach in the car and punch the guy with the helmet on. I'm like, what good do you think that's doing?
Hell, take the
No.
damn helmets off. Get out there and fight. That's what we do in drag racing. Them rounder guys, they don't know how to fight.
Well,
What one guy did, he hit him with a helmet. I got to give him a heads up.
Ralph, how about you? Best thing you saw this week?
Probably best thing I saw, float racing. A couple of my guys won up, trying to think where they were. Lord, I lose track. There's so many on flow, but
Were they in Iowa?
no, that's the Outlaw bunch. I don't know how little Tanner done. Rick Thornton Jr.
He
They
won.
were in
He
Lernerville,
won.
Pennsylvania.
Larnerville ran. I think Albertson won one night, but Rick Thornton won the big night. So
What they racing?
dirt late model.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Lucas Oil dirt late model.
All right. Well, so that's what we're here to talk about tonight is y'all's experience with racing. Now, listen, I have my racing experience. I went to Talladega a couple times, and I've been to some dirt track races. We used to go, Dad and me and Jeff used to go out to Gleason to watch the drag strip there a little bit. But that is my expertise when it comes to racing is watching it.
I
And
heard
so
you was kind of a mechanically inclined. I don't know why you didn't.
somebody lied to you.
They said you could put a rear end in a recliner.
Well, I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah, so he's
that's
a
true.
mechanic.
That is true. I'm really good at that.
Yeah, so you figured he'd be racing, right?
That's right.
That's all it
mechanic
takes.
work.
Is a
I
little
do
bit.
that a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of mechanic work goes on.
Yeah, a lot of
in my
mechanic
house.
work,
A lot
putting
of
in rear
mechanic
ends and in
work.
Hell, you know.
Rear end of the chair.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's all the fixing I know how to do though. So
Jeremy, if you're sensitive, you've got the wrong
no,
crowd.
I'm hey. I guess the good thing, with it, usually I've been a guest on Mike's show before. I guess with y'all being on my show, I can just say, okay, I'm leaving, guys. The show's over, right? But
I've
no,
had to do that.
I won't do that.
You got to reel us in.
But, no, seriously, I was excited to have y'all on to hear about it just because, for instance, I know Neil was talking before we came on about late models, right? Mm-hmm. So, I don't know what the difference in a modified and a late model and whatever other kind of car you can have is. And so, let's start there because how long have you been racing?
I built my first car, when we were in high school.
Okay.
So,
That's a picture you have. I think Kevin had a picture of that
yeah, I think I
earlier,
built my first
right?
race car before. Yeah, there it is right there. So that's me on the left, Michael
Like a
Paul
demolition derby car.
It kind of was.
got
They get to looking
got the
like
all
that,
thread
yeah.
up there in the front end.
Yeah.
Well, that's when so that's where my 98 number came from on my car. That's an Oldsmobile 98 in the picture. That's why I put 98 on it.
Wow.
In duct tape, by the way. But yeah,
You done a good job.
But I built that car. Papaw, I told him I wanted to build a race car. And he said, okay, son. He said, I've got that Oldsmobile up there. Take it. When he saw it after the first weekend, he said, hell, son, I thought you was building a drag car.
Is that one of them cruiser cars?
That was a cruiser car. I had the steering wheel and the brake. Big old Michael Paul on the right there had the gas pedal. And then that was my...
Damn, I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
That's my younger brother, Chad, on the lower right, and then Scotty Holland on the lower left. He passed away a week before my wedding.
How'd that work? It didn't work well, did it?
Oh, it was different.
Not too good.
It was.
I want to be the gasser and let you piss me off right before they drop the green flag.
So it worked good. That car had a 307 Oldsmobile in it.
But if you hold her down the whole race, it's going to finally wind up.
Well, that 307 you could do that, and I got rid of that 307, put a 403 in it.
Yeah, bouncing off the walls.
Oh, we went in the first corner, and Michael Paul didn't lit up till we hit the wall.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
Dad told me that night. He said, "Son," he said, "y'all hit everything but the tractor." And the only reason you didn't hit him is because he was pushing you on the trailer.
Kind of like boxing. Said, "Well, show me the referee. I'm finna whoop the other one."
That's right.
That's right.
So go ahead.
Did you do it, Cruiser?
No.
How about you?
No.
You the crazy one in here, Neil.
Well, they didn't even have.
No, I
When
didn't.
I started, they wasn't but like 3 or 4 classes of cars.
Right.
Where'd you run that at, Neil?
That would have been 95 in Clay. That's Milan.
Mine.
Yeah.
Was that a big class at one time, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was Dale and Larry Johnson had a car from here. Michael Cox built 2 or 3 different cars to run down there.
Just one guy's driving it and braking it, right?
Yeah, I had the steering wheel and the brake. Michael Paul had the throttle.
He just gassing her.
Yep.
Y'all kind of didn't have no communication or nothing.
How do you practice that? Like you
Hit
just
the guy next to you. Literally, just hit him right upside the helmet.
You just hold her up against the wall. I just held her against the wall. That guy did it in NASCAR.
yeah, that's true.
He run up against that wall and just held her.
I just tried to get under the guy outside of us, and if he kept on the throttle, we used him to keep us back inside.
8 tires hold better than 4.
That's right.
But so how long did you do that before you graduated up? So to
We
speak?
did that in high school, and then I didn't race again. Of course, I went to, obviously, college and then law school, and then when Papaw died, I got a car and my brother got a car. So I got back into it in 16.
Okay.
So it's been going on 10 years now.
So, Marty, how long have you been racing?
40-something years. Since I was 14, I'm 64. So 50 years.
So where'd you start? What?
I started with motorcycles.
Okay.
I made a couple of attempts at motocross racing, and that wasn't my bag. So
That's Joey's bag.
that was my
See,
that was my Joey,
JoJo's
my
bag.
cousin. And I got into flat track racing, circle tracking, and that was just kind of my thing. And I got hurt pretty bad at that. And then I got to going with Joey when he was running sprint cars, and it didn't take me 3 or 4 trips because my daddy had race cars. I got to get me a car. So I got my first stock car in '86. Started at Clarksville, and I'm still at it. And I even had another stint back at motorcycle racing
Okay.
in my 40s.
You went asphalt for a while. ARCA?
No, we ran at Nashville Speedway at the fairgrounds.
Right.
when
The
it
old
was-
bullpen?
Well, there at the fairgrounds, it's
That's
a 5/8 mile.
Yeah. That track's got a lot of history. Just to be able to go around it is saying
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
It's got a whole lot of history. I was telling him earlier, 78, 79, somewhere right in there, I went up there with my father and my uncle and watched this guy drive around that track. I may be off on my year, but somewhere right in there, 78, 9, 80. This guy liked a few cars lapping everybody, bouncing off walls. My dad said, "Oh, boy, out there to drive a car. If he quit bouncing off in walls," it was Dale Earnhardt. That was early in his career.
Well, I mean, you hear stories all the time about the racing history at the Nashville Fairgrounds.
It's full of it, man.
Yeah.
There's Cuckoo Marlin, man.
Sterling.
Yeah.
Bunch of Cook guys come out there.
Yeah, they did, man. You had back in the day, that was the place to go. All them big time racers come up there. You had what's his name? I went blank.
Darrell Waltrip.
Darrell Waltrip. All them guys loved the Nashville Speedway. It was the go to track. I mean, it had its own groove.
They're politicking to get another cup race there. It's not, I don't know what you call it now, but another NASCAR, big class
That pisses
racing
me
now.
off. Then people move in and around there. Everything they've done it to every drag racetrack there ever was. You know there's a racetrack there, right? And you build your house, and you want to bitch about the noise. Well, get used to it. Don't that make you mad when they do that? It's crazy how they move in and around a drag strip. You know, back when I first started racing, drag racing, Jackson was way out there. Clarksville was way out there.
Yeah.
And now Ranger Road is just full of houses. And there's a drag strip. There's more houses. Then they want to complain about it.
Yep.
I mean, come on, be real. Drag strip was there before you was.
When you're sitting in the pits at Clarksville now, which is behind the racetrack,
Right.
you're looking in the back window of people's houses.
Yeah,
It's
I
moved
know.
right there.
Right, and that's their own fault.
And Clarksville's done. This is their
Yeah,
last
this-
year.
Yeah, I know.
they're done.
Is the drag strip been done?
No,
He
they're
still
still
runs
running.
it.
Are they? Is it the last year for the drag strip
It's
too?
everything.
Yeah, everything.
So what's that guy's name that owned it last year? Scoggins, whatever.
William
his name?
Scoggins
Yeah.
He sold the whole place.
to the city. No, he didn't want to sell it.
City took it.
Yeah, they were getting it one way or
There'd
another.
have been a hell of a fight if it'd been me, dude.
Well,
that's
there
the way
was
condemnation
one.
works,
What's
That's
happening
crazy.
Went into
is
condemnation.
the
Well, they
city says they're making that 2-lane into a 4-lane. That's runs right through and it's going to
It did that
encroach
up at
on the
Paducah
racetrack.
Raceway, didn't it? It did it up
Yeah.
at that drag
Calvert
Yeah.
City. Yeah.
Calvert City. I put it, and I don't understand why that
Well,
place
that
didn't
ain't-
still go.
That ain't what killed that track.
No.
They had room to.
Yeah, I thought they had room.
That guy supposedly has just bought that, going to cash out, but
Right.
it didn't work that way.
Is dirt racing still pretty popular, isn't it?
It is.
the
It,
car
it
still-
depends on where you're at. I pulled up Duck River when Marty Mee was on the way up there. They had 182 cars.
Yeah.
They got
Wow.
182 cars racing right now in Wheel, Tennessee, which is just south of Nashville. So I mean, there
Yeah.
are cars around, but I mean, it costs money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you don't have good support, good sponsors, things like that, the everyday man's not going to be racing.
Not even in the lower classes like street stock or none of that.
There's no lower. You know what a new street stock costs right now?
No telling.
$80,000.
Really?
A new street stock car.
What
right
kind
now
of damn chassis they got in them?
Well, they're a
Custom
Bernheisel
built,
chassis. And
Man,
then,
back when I was drag racing, you get a drag chassis on a top notch drag cars, 85,000 back in the 90s,
Yep.
and they could buy them little Harris cars for what 3,500, 4,000. And it's changed that much.
Yeah, race ready street stock car is going to cost you
Yep.
$80,000, and now that's ready to go to the track.
Well, can you build your own? Don't they take them old Camaro? They know Camaros left. I know
No.
that Malibus and stuff. Well, they racing now.
Well, everything. It's a metric car,
Yeah.
so it's basically a mid '80s Monte Carlo.
Yeah.
Best thing I can equate it to.
Wow.
But everything under, there's not a stock component on that car.
Yeah. That's what happened to NASCAR. They got an Indy car with a body on it. That's
That's
all they got.
But they can use a carbon fiber drive shaft, though.
Yeah. That's the damnest thing I've ever seen.
I got one of them sitting in the shop right now, hooked to the transmission, ready to bolt in.
We put my old car, when you spray it with nitrous, 2,200 horsepower, and I never did have a carbon fiber. You built my steel drive shaft. I don't trust them carbon fiber. When you got about 4 foot of rubber with 3.5 pounds of air pressure and you're leaving the line real hard, I said, I don't want that to whoop the hell out of the bottom of my car. That carbon fiber comes apart. But I think it's got better now, right?
Well, the fiber won't hurt nothing on there.
It's a glue.
If it does break and twist, whatever,
Yeah.
it doesn't virtually hurt anything on the car.
What's the advantage of carbon fiber over steel and aluminum? Weight?
Well, I make more money off of it. One thing, but,
That's the most important thing.
That's it.
it's got advantages. Harmonics are one thing.
Right.
The other thing, the biggest thing, safety.
Safety.
It won't get in the car with you.
A lot of
Steel
the-
or aluminum.
Well, we had those
won't get
loops
in the
around
car.
them, and it didn't. In drag race, we had loops around. But I'm old school racing. See, I ain't raced in
Yeah.
a long time. I have drove a few cars for people over a few years. But I like the drive shaft be a little heavy. Once you got it wound up, you want to keep it wound up. That was best.
That's some of them's thinking.
Yeah, it worked. Like we
That's
built
someone's thinking.
we de-stroke those 350s, make them 232 cubic inch, turn them about 10,000 RPMs, and put a flywheel weight 150 pound on it, fill it full of Mallory weight, and rib it up. Drop that clutch and let it go. Let that weight keep it spinning. I guess all that's changed now. It has. I can
Changes
remember
every day.
540 cubic inches was a big motor back when I drag raced. Now 632s and all that.
You ever been down to Memphis to the Nationals when they?
Yeah, I raced it.
Did you?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was cool. That's the first place I ever run 200 mile an hour was in Memphis.
Yeah.
In a quarter mile. And I brought my car back, and I figured this thing is not designed for 200 miles an hour.
Did it shake a little bit?
Oh, my God. Aerodynamics didn't play at 160 to the 8th mile track. But around 200 mile an hour, aerodynamics, I found out quick what that word meant. Because my old Camaro had real deep headlight recession. I was that wind getting in there and bouncing, had my windshield blew back, hitting that. And I didn't have a bar in there like that to catch that windshield. My buddies blew their back glass. Everybody's blowing their back glasses out. And I said, I'm going to hold it down, and I went past the 8th mile, and that old red light come on and tell me I was no. And I said, well, let it come on. I knew that motor could take it. And I kept thinking, here's got to be the end. It started shaking. Not the car, the body. Then it got so bad I couldn't see out the windshield, just a vibration. And I seen what I thought was the finish line. I let off. Needless to say, I had to go back and work on that car for a quarter mile, get all that aerodynamics changed up.
Yep.
Put a wing on the back of it to hold it down. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. That's what I'm talking about. I love hearing stories like that because other than just sitting in the stands watching, that's the only experience I got.
They blow those back glasses out. We're talking about in the 90s, early 2000s. They blow them back glasses out of them drag car. They go up in the air and just float around up there, come back down because air hits it different at 200 mile an hour. It does. Like NASCAR, it's different 200 mile an hour. I was pretty comfortable at 150. Yeah. I can run around there in one wheel, just hanging on, waving at the people. Peace out. 200 mile an hour. I got both hands, and I got the pucker effect going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm holding on 3 point.
And then you had to stop on top of all that.
Yeah. Well, I got a parachute. I whipped that parachute out. Because I didn't know how much of a shutdown area, 200 mile an hour, how far is it going to take to shut this thing? I had 4-wheel discs, they was all strange brakes, good brakes. I pop that chute and hit them brakes and kick it up neutral, turn all that stuff off, and go down through there, and then you hear stuff, when you got the motor cut off, coasted 100 mile an hour. I said, damn, that rear end coming out of this thing. What's that sound in that right rear back there, Ralph?
You went to Memphis, but of course, the Gleason had the drag strip down at Gleason, mile. And then I know Atwood has a dirt track. Camden has a dirt track, right? Yeah. So we're all just like local around here. Is there still on Saturday nights you can go and watch some racing somewhere?
For dirt track, you got Clarksville, Camden, Clay Hill. Yeah, Clarksville, this will be its last year. And we've got other tracks that's not too far. I mean, Paducah's got a track runs on Friday. You can go a little bit further into Poplar Bluff, up into Missouri. You can go further south, North Alabama and Tuscumbia they run. And we've got a few tracks in Kentucky. Cedar Ridge is in Morgantown. That's about 2 hours. So
is that kind of y'all's normal circuit? Like, you try to hit all of those tracks, or you have one that, like, if I can go to this track this week, this is the track I'm going to? How do y'all determine where you're going to go? Marty, how do you say, okay, this week we're going to go over to East Tennessee and race, or we're going to go to Clay Hill and race? How do you make that determination?
We've been running a series, my son and I, the last, 3 or 4 years with some different type cars that have motorcycle engines on them. And our schedule for the last probably 3 years, we've been East Tennessee, West Tennessee, back and forth. This year, the West Tennessee kind of died out. We had a change of management, we'll call it, that didn't want to schedule anything over here because they don't want to drive over here.
Okay.
But we go, I say East Tennessee. It's covered up with racetracks in East Tennessee, really good ones. And we were headed over there last night to Spring City, Tennessee, which is right by the Watts Bar Reservoir.
Okay.
And had tire trouble on the truck, so we wound up back at Clarksville. We got the tire fixed, but that's regulated us the last 3 years is where we had a race scheduled at.
Sure.
And we've just bought another one of the crate engine late models so that we can race closer to home.
Right.
And we've only had it out 3 times and had problems every time. But at my age, I'm tired of driving 5 or 6 hours to go race.
Sure.
And I'm probably not going to go to East Tennessee much more.
You had mentioned, because Neil, I know your dad used to be instrumental in your cars and helping whatnot with your cars. And Marno, I think Andrew's been driving around the church at least like it was a racetrack since he was about 13 or 14. But I mean, he's been racing for some time now.
He started in carts with Neil's children.
Yeah.
And they were 9, 10.
that the first go around.
Maybe. I don't remember. I can't remember yesterday very well.
Yeah, they're my two kids.
Yeah.
That was Marty had mini sprints at one time, and I drove that car for him.
Marty, you own pit bull lifts, don't you? Or did you sell that?
I sold it a year ago.
Okay.
He owned it at that time, and that's actually Marty's car. I drove it for him, and I won at Clarksville the night before, but didn't get a victory lane picture because I jumped out of that one and jumped into my modified.
We're full of stunt drivers. So he's Joey's stunt driver, and you're his stunt driver.
No.
Marty just owned the car.
I had a yard full of them mini sprints at one time, and I had people from everywhere coming to drive them,
Yeah.
friends of mine.
That's cool.
But yeah, we took that picture because Eddie Campbell texted me the next morning and said, "Neil, you didn't get a victory lane picture." And I said, "I couldn't. I had to get out of that car and get into my modified."
Right.
So I had the kids run out beside my shop and take a picture so he could post it.
But was Bam driving carts? Is that
Well, both of my kids were
Okay.
driving carts
All
at
right.
that time.
Okay.
My daughter had a bunch of wins. My son had a bunch of second place finishes.
How did he feel about that? We should have had him on too.
Oh, he will tell you he has more second place trophies than anybody else in the country.
He's the Mark Martin.
Oh yeah, he had
Bridesmaid.
tons of second place trophies. Now my daughter, she did a show with Eddie Campbell one time, and Eddie Campbell asked her. He said, "So what happens if you have a bad heat race and it messes you up for the feature?" She said, "Mr. Eddie, I don't have bad heat races."
Wow.
Nothing wrong with a little confidence, right?
Yeah.
So, well, guys, already been going for about 30 minutes. We got to take
Ask
a
Ralph what got him started before we take commercial.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. What got you started in racing? You and your brother.
Well, of course, Dad had, he never drove, but he always had a car.
Right.
Run down Milan, Greenfield, McKenzie,
Henry.
even, don't many people know there was a track out here at the fairground that Dudley Dinkins
Yeah.
on. And, of course, that's how we spent a lot of Friday, Saturday nights at the racetrack when we was kids on top of old Buick Special.
Yeah.
Watching. Daddy always had some driver, guy here in town. Even had Leonard Mann drive his car at one time. But that's kind of, it was in our blood or in our breeding, I guess. And then from there, I ran go-karts, and then we ran four-wheelers on flat track.
Yeah.
From there, we moved. Me and brother built that first hobby car we ran at Friday nights at Milan. Then we had a wheel modified. Then we had a sprint car we done for about 5 years. And then the last 5 years that we done was a late model deal. Of course, we ran on Clarksville. That's just,
You remember Mayfield had a track. Y'all remember that?
yeah, fairground track.
That's right. I don't remember what the
It's
track-
still there.
It is. I mean, it's a horse track now.
We ran on it, on
And I remember-
limestone horse track.
That's right. I remember going over, and I watched the car come out, hit that fence, come rolling out, right down on the road.
Right down on the road. Yeah.
That was cool.
They got that one, and then they got one. Where was that other one? It was, they had Paducah,
Reedland.
which had
Reedland.
it was right downtown.
They say your memory's the second thing you lose.
Where was it? Smithland? Didn't they have one over there toward?
Benton, I thought it was.
They had it was a half mile. Maybe I don't think it was that Mayfield track. This was right downtown, right in the middle of town somewhere.
The guy that
got Carson Park, right in Paducah.
Carson Park.
We raced motorcycles there. Once a year, you could race motorcycles.
Yep.
And at Mayfield, we raced motorcycles.
The guy that built Camden, I forgot his name. He didn't use no special stuff. He just went around there with a dozer and put it in.
Well, the
And then
man
they-
that built it
Yeah.
was Hewlin Douglas.
That's right.
He just passed.
He did. I knew him.
But he had heavy equipment. That's what he did.
And that's right. And he had the dirt. He built the track, and it ain't really square. I don't think.
It
is
looks
it?
like an egg. We have turns
Yeah.
1 and 2, and then turns 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty cool though. He said if they can drive, they can get around her. I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
you're good because I was going to ask
Look
Ralph.
at Sturgis, little Sturgis.
Yeah.
That was a limestone
Yeah.
half mile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was going. So you and Rusty aren't racing anymore, right?
No, we hadn't done anything. he had the girls coming up through school and soccer and all that going on, and I come out with that carbon fiber sign to get out at the track and sell that.
That's what I was fixing to ask. You're like,
make sure it works.
I saw on Neil's page, like, I think that, like, you're a parts man now. Like, you build race car parts and chassis and no chassis, just the drive shafts.
That's
okay,
all I do.
And so, kind of a specialization there. I'm sure, as you said, that carbon fiber is not.
It's in drag racing. He builds drag.
Right.
That's the top. If you got a top car, especially that Street Outlaw that's going on now, that no prep. He's got some of the big names on TV running his shaft. Matter of fact, the guy was on my show. I had some drag race. He called you back and bought a shaft, didn't he?
Yeah.
Fast Lester. They all want his shaft.
Right.
I mean, it's top notch.
Yeah.
Well, and we're lucky because we're right here. I mean, last year I broke a shaft and called Ralph, and I dropped it off on one day, and I was picking it up the next morning.
Yeah.
Or it was a couple years ago. They started a new class, and I didn't have a drive shaft run because we was running aluminum drive shaft. And I called Ralph and said, hey, I'm wanting to go to Kentucky tomorrow. He said, well, by God, you better get me some measurements in. And I did, and he had me a shaft the next day, and we was on the way to Kentucky.
When I first seen them, they glue them together. And I thought, how in the hell's that going to hold? But they do.
Yeah.
They do.
He'll fix a bush hog shaft for you, too, because he just did one for me.
When it works as a bush hog shaft?
He'll fix anything.
Yeah. But, I mean, I know stock car and dirt rack has got its own pressure on the drive shaft. But, man, you take some of those cars in that no prep, they got those superchargers and they got those pro chargers and turbos and stuff on them. And they run up to 5,000-6,000 horsepower. And that thing's sitting there all torqued up. And they hit it. That's a lot of pressure on that drive shaft. You know, it's like a chain. You're trying to break a chain. Whatever's the weakest link, axle, tar, rear end, drive shaft, transmission, something's going to break. You know, that's just part of racing.
They hold better than I ever thought.
I would never
dream
dream
I
it.
ever give them credit for.
Yeah, I never
got into it.
It's right. We all hated it back in the day.
Yeah.
I like steel.
Yeah.
You know, if I was drag racing, I'd probably have to have me a drive shaft now. I mean, that's what everybody's going to, because you got to get that quarter horsepower here. Or in my kind of racing, say you're running 490s and the next guy's running 485. Well, you got to find that 5/10. You know, if it's in a drive shaft.
Well, so that just shows my ignorance, and I'm the dumbest one at this table. I am full aware of that. But is that a weight thing? Is that is the carbon? Is that where you pick it up, or like what?
I want it to be a safety thing. I do.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Is it because that?
But the other guys now call, and I've got 2 or 3 sizes of dirt shafts, and they want the lightest, the smallest, lightest one, which is down to 2 1/4 OD on like 900 horse motors.
Amazing.
So and then
they hold up.
They hold up.
The damnest thing I've ever seen. Old guys, old school, like all of us here back in the day, like we said earlier, we like to get the RPMs up. Because drag racing, they letting off. What do y'all hit the corner at? What RPM you max out at? What are you hitting them straight away?
We're 64 to 68.
What do you come down to when you come out of the corner? What are you down to?
Not much. We can help it.
I mean, seriously, you dropping some.
Not
it
much.
Drops some, but not a lot.
So y'all really just feather it and keep going.
Yeah, I mean, it's a burp when you go in and all the way back full throttle.
Right. Well, see, drag race, we leave the line. I left the line at 3,200, and it shifted at 7,500. I went across the line at 7,500, and that's a lot. And my 60-foot dead stop, sitting dead stop. My car was 60 foot, like 1.10 seconds. That's how fast it would leave the line, 1.10. And that's still fast today, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
60 foot
it's a
time.
good 60 foot. That's what my car was. And plus, the way my motor was built, I knew I could 60 foot it. And on the top end, it really pulled on top. That's why the mile per hour in the ET, the mile per hour was a little bit faster than the ET, which in racing, you won't high mile per hour on the far end. Run them guys down if they get out on you. And I'm talking about heads up racing. I don't know about bracket. I'm talking about heads up. You want to run them down because they're going to beat you off the line sometime, especially if you're getting old like I am.
Guys, we got to take a break. We're going to hear from our sponsors for just a second, and then we'll be back to talk more racing with these guys. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
In a world that moves way too fast, there's one place that feels like home. Tater's Place in Paris, Tennessee, where the sizzle of a smash burger meets the sound of laughter and every plate tells a story. Bring the family, make memories, and taste the love in every bite. Live music, real people, and unforgettable food. That's Tater's Place, 3615 Highway 79 North. Find the flavor you've been missing at Tater's Place. Come and feel what you've been hungry for.
Are you looking for a fence that gives you peace of mind? At All Star Fence Company, we don't just build fences, we build confidence. Whether it's keeping your family safe, protecting your property, or simply adding curb appeal, All Star delivers unmatched quality, dependable service, and lasting results. Locally owned and trusted across West Tennessee, Kentucky, and beyond, we're the name homeowners count on for reliability and strength since 1971. All Star Fence Company, your first line of defense and your best choice for peace of mind. Visit allstarfenceandsupply.com today.
Back here on SportsCast with Jerry Buckelew. Talking some racing with some guys. Don't forget next week's show. We've got talking racing and fast, one of the fastest growing sports around. Going to have Tony Lawrence on with the Paris Parks and Recreation Department. Going to bring on some pickleball players, I think. If any of you guys are looking for ways to stay in shape or whatever, but pickleball is one of the fastest growing. I'm just saying, if you want to, it's one of the fastest growing sports there is right now.
I
and
like pickles.
I don't like pickles neither. And the crowd went crazy.
Yeah.
What you hear?
Yeah,
But,
I don't even like pickles.
Tony's going to be on next week to talk about pickleball, and like I said, we'll talk all the Parks and Rec department, what all they've got going
I
on
use
for the
pickle
city.
forks.
But,
I use pickle forks a lot, knocking tie rods off. Is that the same thing?
I don't know. We'll find out next week.
Okay.
Tune in next week's Sportscast with Jeremy Buckelew, and you can find out if it's the same thing. Don't forget, Mike, what you got coming up this week?
Oh man, it's
You
gonna
know?
be
Or-
yeah.
okay.
It's gonna be a great show. Come up on the Mike Weatherford show. Who killed Hugh Heflin, or did he take his own life? He was locked up in the jailhouse over, I think it's Stewart County, and they found him where he'd hung himself. He had gagged himself, run a towel, a piece of cloth way down his throat, tied his hands behind his back, tied his legs, and hung himself.
Interesting story.
That's an interesting story.
Talented.
So we're going to have Bert Stagg's going to be on, and this guy's sister is Ruse. I think that's how you say her name, Ruse Shelton. She's going to be on here talking about it. And Amelia Courtney, she's my friend up in New Jersey. She has a podcast that does all these unsolved murders and mysteries. So it's going to be, it is Stewart County. Inside the case, Stewart County once forgotten, I guess they say. The 87 case, self-inflicted or something for the worst. New questions arise or new revelations far behind. It's going to be a good, interesting story. I don't know the whole story because I don't go through all that before it, because you know how it is being a podcast. You don't want to know all the answers before you start. You want to find out as you go. But I think it's going to be an interesting case. You know, he did all I read up on it, what they sent me, and he gagged himself, tied his hands behind his back, tied his legs, and hung himself. You know, that can happen.
Tune in to the Mike Weatherford Show on Tuesday, September 2nd at 7 o'clock to hear all about that. And with Burton on, y'all may talk about the new Buford Pusser.
We're going to hit on the Buford Pusser case.
Findings from last
out.
week. Neil, you could hit on that a little bit too if you want to. But
That's not my district.
all right.
You know,
Not my district.
You
not
know,
my
it's
problem.
very easy for the DA to say, Neil, I know you're a DA, but it's easy to say if it was redone today, you know, we would prosecute him. Well, you say that when he's dead.
Yeah. I mean, well,
You know what I'm saying?
It's going to be interesting to see what happens when the case file's released.
Yeah.
Everybody's jumping to judgment
They
right
are.
now, but I think everybody should just back up, and then when they
That's
see
right.
what's out
I
there,
agree.
then form an opinion.
That's great. I agree. But
The problem is we live in a different era
Yeah,
now
but-
where everybody, the first thing that hits the headlines, that's what
well, the
everybody jumps
DA's
on.
one started when he said if it was over today, I would probably have enough to get a grand jury convicted on that, get him in court. Well, that's easy to say when the man's dead. You know, I know you can prosecute a ham sandwich.
that's true. Anyway, tune in to Mike's show on.
Ain't you got something better to do?
No, leave my ham sandwich alone and put the logo back on Cracker Barrel. Did I tell you all that?
You did. You said something about it.
They got that done.
They brought Uncle Herschel back.
Uncle Herschel back.
So, here's a video we have.
So that's a video at Camden the last time Marty and I was there. There weren't any modified, so I had to run
Tell
with
me
the
your
late
car
models.
numbers.
98 will be mine. It's coming up after a Camaro.
Last place?
Well, yeah, because I was running a modified with the late models.
Okay.
But you'll see here in a minute. That's some of your 4-cylinder front wheel drives. That's what they call the hobby class. That's the factory stock. That's my nephew in the number 3 right there, Connor Thompson. He's 14.
Wow.
So right after this Camaro, you'll see my modified come into the picture, coming out of 3 and 4. There's my modified coming out of 3 and 4.
Got that left front picked up, son.
Yeah, there's a little bit in it there.
Yeah.
And then Marty's coming right here in his late model.
So other than
Now, the reason Marty's not hiked up, he's got a broke left rear shock. So that's why his car was sitting down flat like a
It
brick.
looked like he's fast.
Well, it was tight. He would have liked for it to have been hiked up where he could have driven out of the corner.
So I don't understand that setup they put in them cars.
I don't either.
Evidently not. Hey, guys,
changes every
I'll
week.
ask you a question. All y'all guys keep up with your dirt racers, and I'm a drag racer, but we all watch NASCAR.
No.
Well, you used to watch NASCAR. What do you think about these new cars? I'm sorry, Joe.
No, you're good.
The new cars, to me, it's just them down. It's an F1 car with a body on it. Bring back the truck arms. Bring back the carburetors, and bring back the cars. I mean, they keep wondering why there's nobody in the stands no more. Well, it's not racing no more. When you got somebody like Kyle Busch, like him or not, he can't win these new cars because it's a complete different feel. And they got one lug nut holding the wheel on. What the hell? What do y'all think about it? Chime in.
I ain't watched a NASCAR race in 20 years.
Well, you need to support it because that's your roots. That's where y'all are going.
No, the roots is where we're racing.
That's what I'm saying. You're the roots. Yeah.
It's gotten away from everything that
It
it
is.
was.
I don't think a man coming off dirt anymore, in my opinion, y'all correct me where I'm wrong, like they used to. You had the cat in the hat. He'd go after Jack Rouse, and all of them would watch him dirt races, those big dirt races, and they'd watch him talent. They'd go down there like football scouts. They'd watch him guys and bring him and put him in the Busch Series, which is now, I forgot what it's called now. What is the Busch Series called now? Infinity Series.
Yeah.
Then they put him in a cup car. Well, if you drive on dirt, that don't mean a damn thing to come to NASCAR anymore. They're all different.
Well, then you take Kyle Larson. He can drive anything.
Well, yeah, because he's a kind of old
but
school.
He's an exception.
Yeah, very exceptional.
He's an exception.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's not. I mean, if you look on them cars, they're real independent suspension.
Flat on the ground, plastic, made out of plastic.
Yeah, and they had them truck arms back in the back, and you jack that boat down, you come in there and spin that thing around, jack it, had the truck arm, would basically come off a Chevrolet pickup.
What it started,
yeah. Truck arm, you had a straight axle in the back, you just jacked that around, change your springs around. And it was racing. I mean, you get out there, and whoever had the best, whoever cheated the best without getting caught won. And that's what made NASCAR what it was. And they've got away from it. Just like they did Cracker Barrel, got away from Herschel. They've got away from their roots, and they're paying for it. Now, the stands are just nobody's in them, man.
Dirt tracks, the big dirt races are selling more tickets than a NASCAR race.
Yeah, they are, and they wonder why.
Eldorado. Yeah.
Yep.
And what gets me is they wonder, well, what's happened? Well, I know what happened. Y'all took the sport away from the.
It's boring.
It is.
That's what happened when of course, we used to watch NASCAR every week, and when me and my brother were growing up, we would wash trucks on the weekends, and so we would turn the race on because it was on the radio and listen to every race that went on. But it got to a point where, other than the super speedway races, because you're watching those races to see the big one, it just got to the point where a guy would get out front 5 laps into the race, and he'd lead the whole daggum race, and nobody else would get close to him. And it was just, okay, just follow the leader around 200 laps, 300 laps, whatever.
There for a while back, and a few years ago, they just put you were tandem racing. 2 of them get together and run around there all day, and you couldn't pass. Back in the day, you'd like Earnhardt come 15th to lead, in 4 laps at Daytona or Talladega, which at Talladega. Them days are gone. It's ruined the sport. And given, I know the younger generation is not much into that kind of stuff. Now, that Street Outlaws TV show, drag racing was down to tubes also. It was down to tubes, but that brung it back. It brung drag racing back to the map. Everybody wants to be a drag racer now. And that was good. It helped it, and you know that.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it helped it a lot. So I think dirt's got to do for NASCAR what Street Outlaws did for drag racing. Got to be somebody does something. Maybe a Tony Stewart come along and put on a series and run at these tracks or something.
Don't they try to do that now? Isn't one of the Bristol races now they bring in a bunch of dirt and
they did for a while. They stopped it.
They quit that a couple years
Yeah.
ago. It was 3 years ago, the most watched NASCAR race of the entire year across 3 series. You got the Truck Series and you got what used to be Busch and Winston Cup. The most watched race that year was the truck race at Eldora on dirt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest race was a truck, which is that's your lowest tier of
Right.
NASCAR as far as the big 3. But that's what brought in the most people. I don't know if y'all remember back when Jeff Gordon was running all that. They used to take the NASCAR drivers and they got in late models and ran at Eldora.
Yeah.
And they were painted up. Jeff Gordon's car had the 24 on it, just like, and all of them went up
Now,
there.
a lot of them come to Paducah and raced. I remember back in the day.
Stewart owned.
Yeah, but a lot of them racers come up there.
But
Kenny
some of them
Stewart,
did.
Schrader,
Schrader
Wallace.
came regular.
Kenny Wallace always
Kenny,
come.
Yeah.
Which Kenny Wallace and Ken Schrader, they're still racing all over the country
They
every
are.
weekend.
And you can go to St. Louis in December, what they call that domes.
Yeah.
It's packed house, ain't it?
Dirt in the dome.
Yeah.
It's packed.
You go down.
They've got the whole stadium now opened up. Last year they had the upper level open.
You go to Bowman Gray. You want to see a race? Y'all see,
They used to pack them in.
Oh, it's a football field in the center, and they race around the outside of it. That'd be good at Henry County.
There we go.
Hey.
Use a track for something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a good.
Yeah, we got an asphalt track that they don't
Yeah,
dig up with.
we got that plastic infield. We could fit the cars in.
Yeah.
Wouldn't matter if
Yeah.
it rained.
No,
Wouldn't
rain,
rain.
No, you won't get stuck.
Yeah.
But anyway, that Bowman Gray is cool, but it's got a history. They've kept that history to where, like we were speaking earlier, Clarksville fixing to lose its history for all them years.
Clarksville's been there since
50s.
mid 60s.
Well, it used to be.
60s.
It used to be the drag strip. The return row was part of the asphalt track. There was an asphalt drag strip. I mean, a racetrack here at one time.
No.
That's in the 50s. Yeah, it was. That big old curve when we went there at Clarksville, when you come off the drag strip, when you shut down there, you had a big old curve. That was like some of the old guys
It's
said
still
that,
there.
Yeah, some
But
of them
that
said,
was just for your drag strip to.
some old guys said they used to race cars and then they asphalted. That was part of the old track.
I don't even remember. Who got it for Tommy? For Tommy.
Oh,
Gerald
that
had
old
it.
man had it forever.
The Greenfields started, didn't it?
Is Nashville the Hill still racing?
Somebody asked me that the other day, and I couldn't.
Is drag
answer.
race still at Nashville to Hill? They still going? About jolting? You know what I'm talking about? Drag racing? Somebody help me there. I don't know. I ain't been up in you. That was
Don't know.
I want to tell you something about that track. Y'all tell some funny stories. When you drag raced up there, those big old nets they used to put on them World War II ships to catch the airplanes when they come off. They had one of them out there at the end because they had a big old hole. And I was doing a time trial, and my old car was pretty fast, for what it was. I dropped that button, I went down through there. I said, well, I got plenty of room. And I started shutting her down, and hell, all of a sudden, I seen a big old net up there in front of me, and I was trying to get on the binder, shut it down, do everything. I went around that corner, probably on 2 wheels. Look, there's a big old hole down there. That's why they call it the hill. They had a big old net to catch you where you went run off that hill.
Now, I was over Camden the other day over at Mickey Wheatley's. And I want to say he was talking about somebody, one of their cars.
Run off
It
that?
ran off that hill.
Oh, man. They had a big net down there, it looked like a big badminton net, but it was off of one of them big old World War II. And I got back up there, and I said, what's the deal with the net? So you fixing to find out. I said,
Yep.
But, once it was there, it was because they did warn me. And there's a guy up there, man, I can't remember, drove a car called Lou's Caboose. Had a little car. He was pretty fast back then. He had a thing where if you run dead on your dial in, which I run the combo class, which is super comp and bracket. If you run dead on your dial in, had a perfect glide, I think you give $1,000 or something like that. Everybody was chasing that back in the day. Just something I'd throw out there.
Nice. Got another picture coming up here of.
That's back in the day, too.
Marty, 2002. Where's that at?
Hohenwald, Tennessee.
They got a track still up there?
Yep.
Fine track.
Yep. They've actually redone it. They redone it 4 or 5 years ago at TNR.
Yep.
How big a track is that?
They
It's
call it a
about
3/8.
Probably more like a third mile or something. It's
They call all
perfect.
of them a 3/8 around here.
You don't ever straighten the wheel up, do you?
It's a little bit tighter cornered, longer straightaways.
Yeah.
good, smooth track. Well, we
Good
used
track.
What was you
Yeah.
racing out there? What is that car?
that's a dirt
That's
late
dirt
model.
late model.
Okay, what
That's
kind of motor did
before
y'all
we-
have in
Well,
that?
back then we were unlimited.
Really?
Yeah, now they got all this crate engine stuff where you buy one from Chevrolet.
What's them great engine cost now?
They're about 7,500, aren't they?
Yeah,
What's
they,
that?
Well, that ain't bad.
M602
No, but-
motor.
Well,
They
so
started off about 3,500.
Yeah,
Now
but
they're up to like
it used to be for
6,500.
$3,800. I could call them today, and they'd have one sitting in my shop in the morning.
Yeah, but when I drag raced and unlimited, the cylinder heads on my car, just the cylinder heads was 22,000.
Well, let me tell you something, Mo. These 602 series engines, it's nothing but a Vortec 350. And that's just how they hold up in a race car, too. And that's how they perform.
Wow.
They're the most boring thing I've ever driven.
Really, they ain't got no power?
No.
Not compared to that.
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
What,
yeah.
are you limited on what you can do to it?
Well, you
Can't
buy
do
you,
anything
Can't,
to it.
you're not supposed to touch them.
They're
you buy
sealed
a
up.
new
They
one
got-
for $7,500, and
And they
you take
sealed
it to
up.
an engine builder, and when you get done with it, you got 12,000 in it to gain that extra 50 horsepower you need.
Wow. So they got seals on it where you've been into it, they know
Special bolts.
No, they
They
got
did
tag
have, now
seals
they
on them
started
now.
sealing
They
them
got
down.
computer
Yeah.
seals.
Yeah.
I can scan the computer seals on mine. It'll tell you that Chris Oliver built it, when he built it, and it's my name and
Yeah.
everything.
Wow.
Yeah, it got a little more technical.
What kind of chassis they running them things now? $80,000 chassis?
In the late models?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
100.
Wow.
When Ralph and I was running the Supers, if you built a brand new car, it'd cost you $50,000.
Yeah.
Motor, car, everything. You can't buy a motor for $50,000 now.
No.
A new
motor's
Super
60 to
late
80.
model is $125,000.
That's killing racing.
$10,000 for a set of
that-
shots.
You know, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Well, you know, you can't go to salvage yard and get no race cars now, though. Think about it. Well, you ain't going to go out there and find no old Camaros, no metric GMs. I mean, there's none left. What else you going to do? You know, back in the day, you go out there and buy you damn old Malibu or Monte Carlo, or back in the early days, it was old Camaros, you know.
Yeah.
But where are you going to get them at now? So,
Yeah, my first one was a 66 Malibu.
yeah,
Chevelle.
yeah. That's all they got. I mean, they're gone now.
They're
You ain't-
gone.
The 80s,
Yep.
all your rear wheel drives are about gone. So I guess if you're going to race, you got to have it.
Well, 2 or 3, 4 years ago, we won't get into that story, but
Yeah, get
we
into
started
it.
building.
Right, Jeremy? Get into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a happy beginning, but it was a terrible ending for me.
Sound like one of them marriages.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's an ugly divorce, I can tell you
I've
that.
been there.
Anyway, we were building these street stock cars, and that's what we built the chassis on were metric,
Yeah.
Monte Carlo, Cutlass, Regal, and it got where to get a frame. If you could find one that was already stripped down, they were $1,000 just for a bare naked frame.
Wow.
And really, there's nothing to them.
Yeah.
You could just take them and
Yeah, no
Twist 'em.
Malibus, yeah. Yeah. The body tied them together when he bolted it down.
Well, like in Neil's modified class, of course, there's virtually none of those cars left, to build a stub out of.
Yeah,
It's got to have stock stub, but you can buy an aftermarket stub now.
front half. Of the
Yeah,
front.
so
Yeah,
it's
something
a
about- yeah.
68
Yeah.
to 72 Chevelle stubs.
Yeah,
My car's a 68 to 72 Chevelle stub.
Yeah, I got you. I know.
But
so.
AFCO makes an aftermarket
Yeah.
stub now.
There used to be the Camaro stuff was what they run back in the day. Those 68, 69.
Well, and some of the cars have a metric stub. So basically, what they do on a modified is you take that. Mine's a Chevelle stub, and then they shove a late model up under the back end of it and weld it together, and that's what you got.
Wow.
So you got a stock front end, you got a late model from their back.
Well, y'all run 4-link?
We got to run 3-link in what we run around here.
Right.
So
So you got your two bottom bars and that top bar going
you've
out.
got a pull bar coming out, which
Yeah.
it's got to be a solid pull bar on the top. Then you got solid both your lower left, lower right bars. And then
you got a panhard bar, don't you?
We've got a J bar that comes from the left side of the frame, comes over around the dry shaft, hooks to the rear end.
When I was racing, ladder bar cars was a big deal. Then they went to 4 length, and now there's 5, 6 lengths. And I always said that's more crap to mess up.
Well, now
for me to mess it up, I'm talking about trying to tune it.
The drag race guys, the radial guys, they're hiking up the rear much like we did in the late models.
They are.
Except they hike both up, but where we hike one up. But
I would tell everybody, when you're setting up an old ladder bar car, you grab a hammer by the handle of it and you try to lift it up. It's hard to lift. The longer you make that lower bar on that ladder bar, the further up you put that lift. And these cars leaving the line, they picking the wheels up, they go out there and they porpoise. And I say, man, you got to lengthen that bottom bar. Get that. My car, a 60-foot 1.10, run 480s, 150-something mile an hour, never picked the wheels up. But that maybe that high off the ground. And I'm leaving hard. How do you do that? Well, I changed the instant center. You know what I'm talking about, the instant center where my car picks up at them bottom bar. Now I see them guys lifting them wheels up, and I guess they got a lot more horsepower than I had back then. We were like 1,500. But still, that momentum that you're lifting up with, I want it to be going forward. That same energy that lifted, I transferred mine going forward. But it's all changed now. You're more into that than I am now.
Well,
and they run on 9-inch tires what I run on 31s.
Exactly.
I don't know how they done it.
They're flying. They're going way too fast for the tire they got.
Yeah.
That no prep.
It's unreal. They got big tires
on them. Way too fast.
Oh yeah.
Way too fast.
Well, they said we was way too fast back then. Matter of fact, Goodyear, I don't know what year it was, early 2000s, said that tires that I run wasn't designed for top speed. It was slinging the carcass apart. And we just hoped it didn't happen to us.
Well, that's what's happened to dirt late modeling of late. They blow out a lot of tires.
They have more flats than wrecks.
What is it? Just too much heat, or just slinging the tire apart?
Hoosier changed the tire again here a while back, and
they done all the tire change, in my opinion, so they'll rot out in the dump.
No, they're not made out of real. They're not made out of real rubber anymore.
That's so they'll rot out in the dump. Yeah.
Well,
it's for the green deal on these tires. You know how you get a trailer tire sitting around. You used to buy them old Cooper tires on my trailer, had 3 on each side. 3 or 4 years, you didn't worry about it. Now you go out there every year and they're getting cracks in the side of them. You know what I'm saying? Them old trailer tire does not last no more.
Well, you got to put the right juice on them. They won't do that.
What juice you got?
There's all kind out there.
None of it works. Trust me. They're designed to do that. They're designed to crack and fall apart.
Well, the dirt late model tires, the sidewalls are just paper thin anyway.
Yeah, we had that in we call it wrinkle wall.
Yeah.
Now who's this guy right
That's
here?
Uncle Joey. That was.
All right, Uncle Joe. I went to school with him. And your dad, too.
Yeah, him and Dad died within 4 months of each other.
It was horrible, man.
I lost. He was at the track with me all the time. We went there to test the car out that night at Clarksville to go to a big race at Duck River the next day. And evidently whatever we were testing worked because we set fast time, won the heat race, and won the feature.
Wow. That's good stuff. That's a short car. It's for sale.
Well, those cars there actually have more horsepower than the late models, like what Marty's running, like what motor my car's got in it, and it's a 4-cylinder.
Really?
Yep, we could do anything we wanted to with them.
Would y'all run them Iron Dukes, or what'd y'all run?
It was a 2.3 Ford's what it started life out as, with about 98 horsepower, and we were squeezing some people. Last guy I know that built one put $14,000 in it. He was getting $410 out of his on the dyno.
Probably a lot easier to sell that car holding that checkered flag in the first position.
Yeah, a guy from East Tennessee showed up after watching that picture and seeing a video. That's at Why Not. That's down in Meridian, Mississippi. That was the Street Stock Nationals. That was back when the late models didn't all look like that. That one's hiked up really high.
Wow.
We got on some stuff.
What is that doing?
It's dig. You see how flat that left rear is? Every square inch of
I can't see the left rear.
You're looking right at the left rear.
Okay, I thought about right in the... Okay, the left rear...
You see how that left rear is completely flat?
No, it looks up to me.
Every bit of that tire is touching the track.
What's that right rear look like?
The right rear's folded over, but you see how the car's hiked up, but the tire, that left rear tire, every bit of it's touching the track.
Wow. What about that right front? It looked like it ought to be on the rim.
But
I know if you took the body off, the chassis wouldn't look that bad. That's just the body because those shocks raising it up.
No, that's the chassis.
That chassis is that warped.
If you look at that right front, it's almost on the ground,
that's what
and
I'm
the
saying.
left rear's hiked up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't get it. I don't know how in the hell. That goes against all that I ever taught drag racing. That ain't none of that crap.
See how hiked up that is? I mean,
We're in here to talk about drag racing anyway.
Well, we ought to be. That shit right there don't look. I mean, that looks ugly. Look at that right there.
But
looks
that
like
was
a buck tooth.
That's when everything. Back when I was running that late models, when everything got to that way.
Yeah.
The fuel cell's higher than the tire is.
Yeah.
I don't get all that.
Right
What's
on
raising
the
that
ground.
body up? Is it the springs?
Yeah, I've got that one right
When
there.
when you torque that chassis, what's going on to raise that body up? What's happening?
So that one
Chassis's
right.
rolled up.
So
is
that
it
one's
the
got
axle? Is it the pinion angle doing that?
no. So that one's got a 20-inch spring that's compressed. We had to take spring compressors, compress that spring to get it to fit over that shock, and you're trapping it inside there. So when you go in there, that left rear tire is trying to hit you in your back every time you get in the throttle.
What would happen if you tied a car? I'm just going to ask you. Chassis is what I was pretty good in drag racing. I was decent at. Not nowhere near the best because I had to carry it to chassis shops. I got tired of spending all that money, so I learned how to do it myself. What would be wrong with a car that didn't do that? That just planted the tar and you went around the corner and kind of slid a little bit.
You bit your tail.
As long as you don't like winning, ain't nothing wrong.
So you have to do that to win?
Do now.
I won a lot of races in that car right there. And now, if that car set down just 6 inches, it'd be so tight I wouldn't be able to drive it into the corner.
So what's the rules, Kevin? I'm sorry. Can we? That's fine right there too. What's the rules as much like how much lift you can have on it?
Well, they've got a droop rule now to where they measure it after the races, so you can only be so high.
Okay.
We actually run a chain from the frame down to the rear axle, so it can only go so far.
Right.
Okay.
I just don't. I'd have to get it look at one of them things to understand how it works. It just looks crazier than hell. I mean,
You
in drag.
figure it out. You let me know.
Oh yeah. In drag racing, that goes against everything that we're taught in drag racing.
Let's see.
It's against everything.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 shocks and springs on that car.
There's Tyler there in the
And
middle.
at one time they had 8 when Rumbly had his device. Little old shock wasn't that long.
What was it doing?
It was on this device they had on the left rear.
Nobody knows what it was doing, and he won't tell.
Did he win?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's
And
Dad there
they
at
outlawed
Clarksville.
that deal.
Wow. There's your dad, man.
Yep.
That's a good picture right there.
Yep, that was probably the last year. That's probably the year before he died. We won a bunch of races at Clarksville that year in the late model.
How many cars they have in classes now, the late models?
Pitiful.
It just depends on where you go. I mean, Duck River has 30-something tonight in the 602 late model.
Really? Is that what you run a 602 late model now?
Yeah, that's what that one is. That was my first late model right there. That was the
Where they
second
get the
one.
name late model? Hell show hell don't look like a late model.
I have no idea.
Well, it started back in probably the 60s, didn't it, Ralph? When they
Back
called them
Jerry,
late models.
Yeah, Jerry Inman was.
Well,
yeah,
but
back
the
in
first
day,
that they
yeah.
called late models were
Yeah.
like Chevelles that had big wide tires and open motors.
Right.
But at that point, they were later model built
Than
cars.
what they was, yeah.
And that name just stuck with them.
and those are all completely fabricated
There's
chassis.
nothing on
tube
that car
chassis.
that,
Yeah.
They're all
Yeah,
tube
everything.
chassis.
Everything.
That's drag racing. You know, we're all tube chassis. You take the body off my car, and it looks like a skint chicken.
Yeah.
And it's just tubes and pipes, little old 1 3/4 pipes. And then my car was double frame railed, which was for higher horsepower, but it was just tubes. And them guys look at my car when I have the front end off of it. You better hope that don't hit you going in the corner. I said, well, hell, this thing ain't going to turn in no corner. They was a stock car racer, you know. It's all completely different chassis. But I just can't get over how they hike them things up. To me, like Ralph said, if I figured it out, I'd probably be a millionaire. But it just looks slower when that car having to do all that chassis hiking like that.
That rear steer.
Yeah.
Rear steer and that drive off.
Well, I guarantee you one day, you remember this conversation, somebody's going to figure out how to make them cars sit flat and turn. NASCAR did that for a while. Remember, they yawed them out and they done all this crazy stuff to them, trying to get that back wing out of there. You know, they go out on the track, look at them, maybe yawed to just like an airplane come out
If
the track.
you looked at one straight on, yeah.
Yeah, they yawed out.
But
It's out of my. I wouldn't know nothing.
now you're dealing with Lucas Oil, World Outlaws, and that's big money stuff.
Sure it is.
Now it's Flow Racing, and I don't remember what World Outlaws are on. It's not Flow, it's something else.
Speed Sport?
No, I can't remember what World Outlaws are on, but it's all money. And I've told them, you're killing this deal.
Yeah, they are.
With these big motors, and not only big motors, but you got Arrow. Arrow has ruined it. Mm-hmm. I mean, Marty used to.
Aerodynamics how fast y'all run and have aerodynamics? 100 mile an hour?
At Eldora, they probably going, I think they average 120 at Eldora.
Wow,
so they're probably running 150.
Well, that's aerodynamics plays in about 125. You really plays in.
But
you see
yeah.
how wedged the nose are on those cars. And that's just like having a front downforce wing on them. And you run up behind somebody,
Take
and
the
the front
air
end
off
will just scoot right out from under you.
Yeah.
And now they're skewing the bodies.
The bodies look like
so you're skewing a body sideways.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
They've got it developed a check rule for that, skewing them.
Yeah.
But it's still, you got, like we was talking about motors, where you were in the, what was your cubic inch?
540.
They've got a late model, one of these $60,000 motors now. Vic Hill's got one, I know, a 480. I've heard of a 489 before.
Small
In
block?
a small block.
454 was a big engine, small block
It's
back
what
in
they
the
call
day.
a wide bore.
Yeah.
So it's not a standard block. It's all
right.
CNC stuff.
But they was, back when I was racing heavy, they was making 454 small blocks. And I think Ryan...
That's the common late model engine of today.
It wasn't common back then. I think Ryan Morrison, maybe I'm wrong, one of them guys come up with that 454 small block. And I said, just put you a big block. We start out there.
Too much weight.
Nah, they're lighter. Would you put the aluminum heads and all that? You get them. They
run
100
aluminum
pound
block
difference
now, though.
Yeah, they run in big blocks.
See, we were running aluminum block, aluminum head, 450.
Yeah, we did too. Yeah. I forgot the heads on my car, they was, back in the day, they was Rodex, was what we run.
Yeah.
And they was Pontiac style heads. And I was one of the first ones to ever get them because they sent them to me to try them out. And I had to send them up to a shop in St. Joe, Missouri and have the intake runners cut in them and the valve pocket holes cut out because they just could barely cast it. You could put them on the end of your finger and tote two heads around. It didn't weigh nothing.
Little German guy owned that shop. What was his name? Francis something, wasn't it?
Man, I can't remember what his name was. Yeah, St. Joe, Missouri. Yeah, he was good. He was real good on the heads. He'd tell me, he said, I'm going to make them heads float. And he did. I don't know what the numbers were. Don't remember. They picked up my old car. But, but the big block, and everybody said, oh, small block winds faster. No, they don't. The motor don't know if it's big block or small block car as far as RPMs. They're both the same. There's no difference in that. It's just horsepower. It's a lot easier to take a 454 on up to 540 than it is to take a 350 up to 454. It's a lot less. You already got the horsepower. You just can't beat cubic inches. It's just impossible to do it. I mean, now they limit you in pro stock. I started driving some pro stock car, and they limit us to 500 cubic inches. Now I think they're fuel injection, 500 cubic inches with 2 4-barrels. And that was a challenge, trying to build with Warren Johnson and all them guys. You just couldn't, guys like us, we couldn't compete with them guys. I tried to qualify some of them cars. I did it one time, but it's tough to compete against them guys. You go 32 car trying to get in a 16-car field. You got all them pro drivers in there. Y'all know, y'all been there. And them pro guys come in, they take a track over. Don't they do it in dirt racing too?
Sometimes. Yeah. It just depends. If it's a small bull ring track.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't matter.
Locals, a lot of times will do real well.
Yeah,
that's why I like Clarksville.
You get something like Eldora.
Who's got the money?
I don't even know why half of them show
drag
up.
racing was money. It got and it still is. And that no prep. It's all about money.
Yep.
That's how it was.
It's all money.
Nashville. That's why.
Yeah, that's right.
I went to Nashville first in 1990.
I remember when you went asphalt racing.
Friend of mine said, let's get out of this dirt. Let's go up there. He was living up there then. And so I drove for him for 4 or 5 years. And it was just money, and politics.
Yeah.
We were outsiders.
Sure.
And wouldn't nobody tell you the truth about anything to try to help you.
Yeah.
And then I got a wild hair a few years ago that I wanted to go back up there. And I drove a truck. They had a truck series at Nashville. Well, guess what? Nothing changed. Other than I was in a truck instead of a late model. It's the same old,
same old bull crap. Yeah, I got thrown out of a couple tracks drag racing back in the day because I didn't like the politics. I carried my car there and went on a Friday night, right? NHRA and won. Saturday, it was illegal. What? Yeah, it's not legal. Can't run tonight. Well, 18 hours ago, it was legal. It stayed here at the track, and the trailer locked up. Well, it's not legal. That's politics. So I showed my hind end, I guess.
We had to buy a set of tires when I went back and running the trucks. Every week, you had to buy a set of tires at the track. You could not qualify on used tires.
Right.
You had to buy a brand new set of tires. They were $765 for 4 tires. Had to buy you fuel there. No, they were Hoosiers.
Right.
And then when you'd buy the tires, they kept your old tires and they would sell them to the guys to run on the quarter-mile track.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I had a core.
Yeah.
They had a racket. Well, the guy that ran the track in for a few years, he had a racket going on everything, and he's out of there now. But
all racing's got it, brother. Yeah. It don't matter what you're racing, you have it in your class. Every asphalt drag racing, you know, a lot of us in our mind we think we're getting screwed around, but a lot of times we are. You know, everybody's got to get paid, and I'm going to let you have your show back here in just a minute. What got me was when they started this buyback in drag racing, when you bracket raced. Used to, you get beat, see you next week. Well, then they started buying back. Where if you lost first round, you could go back and pay entry and get back in again. The first time I ever said, hell, I beat that guy a while ago. Well, he bought back. What do you mean bought back? And they said, well, they're letting them buy back now. And I kind of didn't like that, but anyway, got over that. Then but you could buy first and second round. You could buy I said, why don't we just buy the win? Just how much it's going to take to win the race now, you know? I didn't like that. That's when I moved into heads-up racing because, you know, once you's out, you's out. I like that better. But then you had to race against the big money, you know, and it's, y'all know, y'all been there. A small-town guy can race against big money, but your money runs out faster than theirs does. That's all it is. You know, I got $1,000, they got $10,000. I'll run out of money before they will. And that's why people, Mike, why are you so fast? I spent more money. That's all it is.
I had a fella pull up in front of the shop a few years ago when my son was kart racing and we had those mini sprints. And he, I won't get into the whole story, but talking about money, spending money.
Yeah.
And he said, you're going to spend as much money on that boy racing as you have yourself. I said, well, I'm going to spend till we run out, I guess, or I have to hire him a lawyer and then we're done.
Yeah.
He says, well, do you think you've spent $1 million racing? Oh, ain't no doubt.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, that is a mini late model. That's what we've got 2 of those now.
Can you get in it?
Yeah, through the roll cage.
Wow.
Fast. They're as fast as these crate cars we're running, the big cars.
Wow.
That's a mini sprint car.
That's always a cool car, right? Yeah. Sprint car, I got into one. I did go around a track and won. You help me out, y'all sprint car racers. The damn steering wheel's up like this. How do y'all drive them things?
Like a pro.
I mean, you know, I'm laid back, you know, and I went around there in some dirt cars. I have drove some dirt cars. I just didn't like it, you know. But the only thing I liked about it, I was out there longer. I'm only out there 4 seconds in drag racing, but you know, the car,
like we were talking earlier.
Yeah, we kind of like bad sex. We get it over with in a hurry. Y'all guys just keep on trying, knowing you ain't gonna win.
this old fella says, "Well, do you have any regrets of spending that $1 million?" I said, "I only got one. I didn't have $2 million."
That's exactly right. Yeah, you know, it is when you know it's that's you back. I remember you back in them days.
Yeah, well, that's my little boy there when he was little. That was probably one of the latter motorcycle races that I went to. That was at Carson Park.
What is that? Is that a Suzuki?
Actually, that one had a Honda motor in it. But Grissom got me lined up in 2006 to ride a Suzuki in the AMA Amateur National stuff. Right. When 40-year-old class is what I run. And I actually won 3 national.
That old Houston boy was pretty good at that one time.
Yes, he was.
I went to school with him. He was pretty him and that. There's another guy that raced with
Andy Richardson.
Yeah, they was all good on them old bikes back in the day.
Then Andy went to driving dirt cars.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ken tried it a little bit, and Ken's brother Scott, the younger brother, he was very successful in the modifieds.
Wow. You know, we'd already been an hour and 20
I know.
minutes.
I got one more question, and then y'all can. How long does it take y'all each week? Like, how many hours will you spend in a week working on your cars to get them ready for Saturday night?
With the modified, not that much. With the late model, you're talking about how many days is it taking, not how many hours.
According if you wreck.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that was going to be my next
how much
question.
damage you had.
I tell everybody, if you can run up front, if you've got a good car and you can run up front, it makes it a whole lot easier on you.
That's a fact.
Let me tell y'all a funny story. I could tell my dad how he was placed because the more mud, the further back he was. I look at the car on Sunday morning. If there wasn't a lot of mud up front, I knew he'd run toward the front. It's still that way, I guess, today, ain't it?
Well, depending on what track you're on.
Yeah.
That's right.
This was
Most of them you don't get any mud anymore.
Yeah, used to. That's how I could tell.
You just got to. We've been blessed for the past several years. If you can go places and run up front and not be in the back with a riffraff, you're not having to work on a bunch of stuff. I mean, outside of a mechanical failure, all you're doing is cleaning the car, working tires, and getting ready for the next week.
Wow.
I can do a modified if nothing goes wrong, 2 hours on a Sunday, and I'm ready to go next week.
You just run the valves and check your chassis or tighten up bolts, or what do you do?
I do. I've got a chart on the wall. So, I mean, I unload it from the car or from the trailer. I clean everything, pull the wheels and tires off, work them, and then I go over the chassis.
What do you mean
boat
work
check.
them? What's working them?
Grooving them?
them?
You wash them, you grind them, you swap them out if they need to be swapped out.
He's putting tire softener on. That takes a little bit longer.
Yeah.
That's the easy part.
Yeah. See, drag racing, all we did was I run the valves, but it had a damn stud girl on it. The kind you run on those big blocks, the high, big cubic inches, just that damn aggravating this damn thing to adjust with a stud girl. That'd take you a couple hours to run the valves on it. Then I just check for broke stuff because we're hitting so hard off the line. I'd get down on the back end, check all the rod ends and stuff like that, make sure nothing broke. Usually we raced on Saturday night. Unless I broke something, I didn't get on my car till Wednesday.
Right.
I'd just get on it Wednesday afternoon after work. I'd crawl under the house. I had it out of the trailer. Usually Sunday, I'd load it out of the trailer, run the valves, and run a leak down test, which, make sure it ain't nothing can go wrong in the cylinders. And then just check everything over. Basically, all you did in drag racing. Because if you bounce off the wall in a drag car, you got more than 2 days worth of work. You probably got about a month. You got to send that thing to a chassis shop,
I don't check the valve, but we swap valve springs out every couple hundred laps.
Y'all running longer than we are. You see, we're harder on the motor than y'all are because we hit them so hard, and we're just straining them all the way down to the end. I had y'all boys know the answer. A car motor, RPMs, everybody thinks RPMs and all that blows a car motor up. Let me tell you a funny story. If you leave the line at 3,000 and you shift at 7,000, you go across the line at 7,000. Let's do an average. 7 plus 3 is 10. It's about it in 2, 5,000. How many times that motor turned over in 5 seconds?
A bunch.
Do you know? 212 times. That's all. Because RPM is revolutions per minute, 5,000, and I'm only going 5 seconds. Do the math. Multiply it down 200-something times. Sometimes 180 times is all it turns over. In drag racing, what blows up motors is burnouts. Yeah. They get that thing in that water, they bump out, and they just wind them up. And the sprags and them automatic transmission, they got them all just scattering because there's no load on that old motor, just scattered. Then they run out through to hit that sticky stuff and just drown. Then they can pull up at the starting line, take off, and the transmission comes out. I blew it up in the starting line. So now you blew that some bitch up back in the water hose. What you done? That's where we blow out. That's where you tear stuff up.
These small cars that we've got and have run in the past we run a 600cc Suzuki crotch rocket engines, turn them 16,000.
Oh, man.
And pretty much don't lift.
Ooh, damn.
Just hold them flat.
What kind of rods they got in them things?
Whatever they come in them.
Factory?
We're running stock motors in them, yeah.
16,000?
Yeah.
How many cylinders is it?
4.
Well, they're going to be swapping hose anytime. They are swapping hose. Have to be. Hold it. 16,000 RPM. That's a lot.
I'm telling you.
16,000.
They live. They last and last.
I don't get it. I remember them old Kawasaki 900. Remember them back in the day? That was one of the fastest production bikes there ever was. And I had one. That thing was, I don't know what it was, 11,000 maybe, and just hold it. But God Almighty, 16,000.
No friction, no weight.
They're just factory motors, though, right?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's just a stock motor. We don't put Gorilla rods or anything like it in them. I'm not telling you don't see one pop.
Well, you're going to, sure.
But
that's
typically the issue you'll have will be something in the valve train.
Right. Yeah, valve
They're all
spring.
titanium valves. And,
Yeah, we run all that too.
But the
Back in the
bottoms just don't. Now, the Yamaha motors, we popped some of them. But these Suzuki's,
Is that the biggest engine y'all can run is 600cc?
right now, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what to do have high boosting motors and everything.
Don't need them.
I've been saying 16,000 RPM. What kind of gear y'all got on that
Well,
thing?
now the Mod Lights,
They run 1,000.
they was 1,000. Yeah, they
Turning
run
60.
1,000.
But they don't turn them to 16.
You don't have to, you know. On most engines, if you want to run faster, you got to turn the motor faster. Or you just got to gear it different. You got to make your back tires go faster if you want to be faster.
These little motors don't have any torque to speak of. They're RPM engines.
Yeah.
And
Like a
so we
Detroit
just
diesel.
get them wound up.
I bet they awful sounding, ain't they?
They squeal.
Man, I like to hear. Where do you race at?
We travel around.
Where's the closest place here?
We'll be at Camden with them the 26th of September.
I'm going to come over and watch it. I want
That's
to
the
see
last
them
race of
things.
the year for us.
Wow, 16, all of them running. That's got to sound like a bunch of pissed off bumblebees, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And if there's a
You believe
good
that?
crowd,
That's
it
a lot
looks
of
like a
RPM.
bunch of pissed off.
Look at your tack on your car when you get in it. It's going to say 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Well, just figure he's turning 16,000. Don't go, listeners, don't go out there and put your car on the floor and try to match that because it will swap
It
holes.
Well, guys, it's been almost an hour and a half.
Yeah, I know. We took over.
Labor Day's tomorrow. I know Neil's off, so
He don't work
I'm
anyway.
never off.
That's a true statement right there. I know. Where are you going to be this weekend? Are you going anywhere racing?
No, next weekend we may go up into Missouri, go to Poplar Bluff on Friday, and then go to Benton, Missouri on Saturday.
Okay.
So,
Marty, y'all going anywhere this weekend?
We're going to pull one of them junk crate motors out tomorrow, I hope, and put another one in. Was Camden racing next week?
Clay Hill.
We'll probably go to Paducah or Clarksville.
How about you, Ralph? Any plans for?
Next weekend, Eldora, so I'll be up at Eldora next weekend.
Okay.
I'm riding with Ralph. I changed my mind.
Come on, brother.
I'm
I got
wrestling.
room.
Michael be wrestling.
I'm
He's
gonna
the
be a-
enforcer
And the enforcer at professional wrestling next weekend. I'm going to
on Saturday night at the fairgrounds.
That's right. I want to relive my youth. I want a pair of black eyes.
Well, we can probably make that happen.
Yeah.
I can call Dana and hook that up for
She
you.
already does that. I tell Dana all
I'm
the
sure
time.
we
there-
could arrange that.
Yeah, I tell Dana all the time that I'm a trophy boyfriend. There's laws to protect me from girls like her.
yeah.
I know a guy you can talk to that'll tell you last night he just how to get that done.
With a helmet? No, they asked me. It's going to be cool. I want everybody to come out to fairgrounds this weekend. It's going to be cool. I mean, everybody says, oh, that's a bunch of fake. It's not fake. I'm telling you, it's choreographed, and these guys are athletes. And because I done talked to them, and they told me, dude, we're all hyped up. If you get hurt, you're on your own. I said, so I can protect myself. I suggest you do protect yourself at all time. I said, hell yeah, I like that.
Do you remember Andy Kaufman?
Andy.
Andy,
Hey, I'm a little different. I'm a boxer. Yeah, I'm a boxer. I'm a little bit different. I can defend myself.
That's what he thought too.
Well, I may not. Who knows? But anyway.
Like Mike Tyson, they all got a plan.
That's right. That's right.
He was the king of the women's ring, but he wasn't the king when the real king
I
walked
tell
in.
everybody I have a good plan till I get the first punch in the mouth.
Yeah.
But I want everybody to come out this weekend, Henry County Fairgrounds, and watch. It's going to be cool. They got a 7-man battle royal going on, and they're going to throw them out of the ring. And my job is only going to be make sure they get out of the ring, they can't get back in. To make sure they know they're out. That's my job, and I'm going to be the enforcer because they got a couple of guys that want to cheat. A guy named Brad Bad. He's known to be a cheater. So they said, Mike, watch this guy. He likes to cheat. I said, what does he grind glass in my eyes or something? He said, don't tell him what he likes to do. So I'm going to be watching this guy. Hey, if you're watching here, Brad Bad, I got my eye on you, big boy.
That's Saturday night.
Saturday night.
What time? Do you
7
remember?
p.m.
7
Bell
o'clock?
rings at 7.
Is somebody filming this?
Of course.
Probably.
Surely.
That'd be worth watching.
You might be
I'll
surprised.
be sure I
Come out there.
I'm in Eldora.
Well, hell, you come out there and watch. I mean, you can fly up. You got an airplane. You can just fly up there.
I ain't got no airplane.
Well,
That's,
helicopter, whatever. I hear you flying.
They come right over the house.
Okay,
mind you.
I thought that was
but,
you.
going to flying them in and out to hospital, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Well, guys, thank y'all for coming on. We'll say this, that I told Mike, and Neil could probably help me with this too, but I'm working on getting a NASCAR car chief.
Yes.
He's got some local ties with a young lady that Neil and I know that she's the VP of something in NASCAR now. And so the next time that they're in town, I hope to be able to get them on the show.
That'd be cool.
And so all of y'all can come back and ask him why NASCAR changed the way they changed.
I'm going to bitch about it.
So,
He's probably going to bitch too if he's been in it a long time. None of them likes
he
it.
may. But anyway, I'm working on that.
Working on that deal with that guy. Remember I told you, Amelia Courtney, her husband is the Major League Baseball. Well, he's the, what is he? He's a big shot in
communications, or say he's the director of communications for the MLB or something.
Yeah, I'm working on it. She said, he'd like to get that talk with you. That'd be something to talk about.
Yeah. So, but when we have our NASCAR show, you guys just plan on being back, and we'll talk NASCAR for
a little bit.
That won't take long.
We've said too much, man.
Right? Like, yeah. So never mind.
What I look for at NASCAR races, if I happen to be in the house and it's on, because I don't look for it, but there's a fella that lives here in Paris that I've worked with. His father is undercover security on pit road.
Wow.
And I look for him. I don't care about the car race. But
what the hell's undercover security about?
When if you's on pit road and a fight broke out,
That's just part of racing.
Well, he's there to stop it.
You can't get on pit road in a cup race without passing a background check. You got to put it in months before.
NHRA is so far ahead of NASCAR when it comes to being open to the public.
They do got a good deal there.
Yeah,
NHRA
they've always been. You can walk up to. Now, I'm not going to say the drivers and the crew chiefs ain't going to be buttholes, but you can walk right up to them, and they usually got this low chain up there where you can't get back up where they're working at, but they're really accessible. And NASCAR used to be at the garages. You used to see them at the garages. They just stopped. NASCAR's gotten too big for the bridge.
I say IndyCar used to be that way too. When we used to go to the IndyCar race in Nashville, and you could just walk right up and talk to all of them.
Well, the big dirt races now, like I'm going to Eldora.
It's the same way, ain't it?
Well, you have to buy uprate. You can buy a pit pass, but you can buy general sessions where you got a seat.
Yeah.
Then you can go buy an uprate pass, and you can ride out in the pit.
Back when I raced, I did have a professional license one time, and I had sponsors. And I used to get all the behind-the-scenes passes and go eat with all these guys, and that was pretty cool. And there for a few years after that, when I quit racing, I still got to, they knew me, but it's all changed. Now I go to drag stuff, nobody knows me, except maybe some of the granddaddies say, hey, that's that guy at the Hustler I used to tell you about. And the kid look at, how you doing? He don't give a crap no more. I did the same thing in my era. Here comes somebody that used to be somebody in the day, and I'd walk up to me, everything's changed. It ain't nothing like you thought. And I know how they feel toward me, and I'm okay with that. Every dog has his day.
It's true. Guys, I appreciate you being on. Look forward to having you back. And
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had a good time. I don't know. Y'all may not have. I thought it was a fun show.
It was fun.
I learned a lot, and that's why I had y'all come on here, is because I knew, like I said, other than just sitting in the stands watching, that was my expertise on it.
These three guys right here has probably forgot more about racing than most people, including me, will ever know. I don't know nothing about their kind of racing, and they probably know a little bit about drag racing. They probably know more about drag racing than I do dirt racing. Yeah. And these guys right here, you got three good guys. Yeah. And Ralph has been around it. Marty and his boy, he's still doing it every weekend. And these guys they know what they're doing. They know cars. They know how to build them, know how to set them up, know how to race them. You had a good crew here tonight.
Encourage you guys to get out and support these local tracks to keep that going each and every weekend, because they don't want to race for nobody. I mean, I'm sure they would, but they probably a little bit better when there's people in the stands watching. So don't forget about next week's show. We'll have Tony Lawrence on from Paris Parks and Rec to talk about pickleball, and he's going to bring some pickleball champions on with him. We've got some national champion pickleball players that live here in Paris, and so make sure you check that out next weekend at 7:30. Mike, don't forget about your show.
Yep, next week. Don't forget, next Tuesday, coming up day after tomorrow, who killed Hugh Heflin, or did he take his own life? It's a pretty interesting story. I don't know the whole story. I don't usually try to know much about my guests, because you can vouch for that. If you know much, you don't ask as much, right? So it's going to be a great show coming up Tuesday at 7 p.m. on the Mike Weather Show. Got Burton Staggs. Amelia Courtney and Rue Shelton, which is the sister to the shoe helper. Back in 1987, they found him hung in a jail. His hands was bounded and his feet was bound. He had a rag down his throat. I'm not saying anything went on in the jail. I'm not even insinuating that, but it's funny.
Be sure to tune in on Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, to hear that on the Mike Weatherford Show page. I want to say thank you to our sponsors. Thanks to Taters and All-Star Fence. Thank you, Patriot Plumbing, Shelter Insurance, Eaton Construction, Tennessee Real Estate. Thank you, Kevin Keel and Scott Norwood in the back, and Keel Media. Thank you, Mike, for letting me use the studio each Sunday night to do the show.
You do a great job. I want to tell you before you go, you do an excellent job. You really do.
I appreciate
watch
it. Thank you.
You do good. You know what you're talking about.
Most of the time.
Well, you do. You do a great job. Don't y'all agree? He does a good job with the show.
He's just telling you that to keep the rent coming in.
That's exactly right. I owe him money. That's what it is.
Damn it, Marty.
Follow them.
You always got to mess it up.
As always, be good to yourself and each other. We'll see y'all next week.